Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anubha Rohatgi, and with me is Ramya with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says sports competitions should be held in every part of the country, including remote villages, to further the momentum created by recent Olympics. In his Mann Ki Baat program, the Prime Minister praises the youth of the country for undergoing transformation and wanting to do something new altogether. Mr. Modi remembers Major Dhyan Chand on National Sports Day being celebrated in his honour. Prime Minister highlights the need to create awareness about Sanskrit, saying it is our collective duty to cherish our heritage, preserve it and pass it on to the new generation. Urging people to get vaccinated for COVID-19, Prime Minister reminds about the mantra of Dawai Bhi Kadai Bhi. President Ram Nath Kovind inaugurates Ramayan Conclave in Ayodhya. Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur launches Fit India mobile application, calls upon people to give half an hour for fitness every day. International scheduled commercial passenger flights to and from India to remain suspended till September 30th. Over 63 crore 9 lakh COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.53%. Paralympics silver medal winner Bhavina Patel talks exclusively to AIR, attributes her success to hard work and dedication. And in cricket, India loses third test to England at Leeds. As the nationwide free COVID-19 vaccination campaign at government facilities for those above 18 years is underway, we advise our young listeners to get vaccinated and also help others get vaccinated. We also advise our listeners not to lower their guard as COVID-19 remains a threat to our health. Please stay at home unless it is essential to go out and continue to follow these 3 simple steps. Wear a face mask, maintain 2 gaz ki duri for social distancing, focus on hand and face hygiene. For any COVID-related information and guidance, contact national helpline numbers 011 2397 8046 and 1075. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called upon the people of the country to strive to further the momentum the field of sports has gained through the recent Olympics and contribute whatever they can to promote sports culture in the country. He said the nation must garner expertise in a variety of sports, taking advantage of this opportunity. In his Mann Ki Baat program on All India Radio today, Mr. Modi said sports competitions should be held everywhere, including remote villages and other parts of the country, as it is only through competition that sports shall evolve. He added that this time the Olympics has created a major impact in the mindset of the people, and whatever India earned in Olympics may be lesser in comparison with the world, but enough has happened to boost the confidence and belief of Indians. Stressing on the need to accord permanence to this momentum, the Prime Minister said that it is only through collective endeavour of all that India can attain glorious heights in sports.
ओलंपिक ने बहुत बड़ा प्रभाव पैदा किया है। ओलंपिक के खेल पूरे हुए, अभी पैरालंपिक चल रहा है। देश को हमारे इस खेल जगत में जो कुछ भी हुआ, विश्व की तुलना में भले कम होगा, लेकिन विश्वास भरने के लिए तो बहुत कुछ हुआ। आज युवा सिर्फ स्पोर्ट्स की तरफ देख ही रहा ऐसा नहीं है, लेकिन वह उससे जुड़ी संभावनाओं की भी ओर देख रहा है। उसके पूरे इकोसिस्टम को बहुत बारीकी से देख रहा है, उसके सामर्थ्य को समझ रहा है और किसी न किसी रूप में खुद को जोड़ना भी चाहता है। अब वो कन्वेंशनल चीजों से आगे जाकर न्यू डिसिप्लिन्स को अपना रहा है। और मेरे देशवासियों, जब इतना मोमेंटम आया है, हर परिवार में खेल की चर्चा शुरू हुई है। आप ही बताइए मुझे, क्या ये मोमेंटम को अब थमने देना चाहिए? आप भी मेरी तरह ही सोचते होंगे। अब देश में खेल, खेलकूद, स्पोर्ट्समैन स्पिरिट अब रुकना नहीं है।
Remembering Major Dhyan Chand on his birth anniversary today, Mr. Modi, while referring to Indian hockey team's performance in Tokyo Olympics, said, "Wherever Major Dhyan Chandji's soul must be at this moment, it must be feeling overjoyed, since it was his hockey that brought glory to India in the world."
और इस बार ओलंपिक में हॉकी का पदक मिला, 4 दशक के बाद मिला। आप कल्पना कर सकते हैं मेजर ध्यानचंद जी के दिल पर, उनकी आत्मा पर, वो जहां होंगे वहां कितनी प्रसन्नता होती होगी। और ध्यानचंद जी का पूरा जीवन खेल को समर्पित था। और इसलिए आज जब हमें देश के नौजवानों में, हमारे बेटे बेटियों में खेल के प्रति जो आकर्षण नजर आ रहा है, माता पिता को भी बच्चे अगर खेल में आगे जा रहे हैं तो खुशी हो रही है। ये जो ललक दिख रही है ना, मैं समझता हूँ यही मेजर ध्यानचंद जी को बहुत बड़ी श्रद्धांजलि है।
The Prime Minister said that the mind of the youth has undergone a transformation, and today's young minds, shunning obsolete, age-old methods and patterns, want to do something new altogether. They do not want to tread the ready-made beaten paths, but want to carve out newer paths. In this context, Mr. Modi gave the example of how college students and young people working in universities and the private sector enthusiastically came forward when India opened its space sector some time ago. Mr. Modi expressed confidence that in the coming days, a large number of satellites will be those developed by the Indian youth. He added that similarly, now young people are moving away from the family traditions and are expressing the wish to begin a new startup and willing to take a risk. The Prime Minister said the startup culture is expanding even to smaller cities, which is an indication of a bright future.
आज जहां भी देखो, किसी भी परिवार में जाओ, कितना ही संपन्न परिवार हो, पढ़े लिखे परिवार हो, लेकिन अगर परिवार में नौजवान से बात करो तो वो क्या कहता है? वो अपने पारिवारिक जो परंपराओं से हट करके कहता है मैं तो स्टार्टअप करूंगा, स्टार्टअप में चला जाऊंगा। यानी रिस्क लेने के लिए उसका मन उछल रहा है। आज छोटे छोटे शहरों में भी स्टार्टअप कल्चर का विस्तार हो रहा है और मैं उसमें उज्जवल भविष्य के संकेत देख रहा हूँ। अभी कुछ दिन पहले ही हमारे देश में खिलौनों की चर्चा हो रही थी। देखते ही देखते जब हमारे युवाओं के ध्यान में विषय आया, उन्होंने भी मन में ठान लिया कि दुनिया में भारत के खिलौनों की पहचान कैसे बने और नए नए प्रयोग कर रहे हैं।
Talking about Janmashtami, which will be celebrated throughout the nation tomorrow, the Prime Minister shared his recent experience and said someone had left an art book for him outside his residence. In the book, there were many forms and many magnificent pictures of Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Mr. Modi met Jadu Rani Dasi, who left the book outside his home. Born and brought up in America, Jadu Rani Dasi is connected to ISKCON and is well trained in Bhakti arts. Mr. Modi also shared his conversation with her. Highlighting the importance of the cleanliness campaign, Mr. Modi said that today, when the country is celebrating the Amrit Mahotsav of independence, it has to remember that it should never let the resolve of the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan diminish.
मेरे प्यारे देशवासियों, इस कोरोना कालखंड में स्वच्छता के विषय में मुझे जितनी बातें करनी चाहिए थी, लगता है शायद उसमें कुछ कमी आ गई थी। मुझे भी लगता है कि स्वच्छता के अभियान को हमें रत्ती भर भी ओझल नहीं होने देना है। राष्ट्र निर्माण के लिए सबका प्रयास कैसे सबका विकास करता है, इसके उदाहरण हमें प्रेरणा भी देते हैं और कुछ करने के लिए एक नई ऊर्जा भर देते हैं, हमारे संकल्प में जान फूंक देते हैं। हम ये भली बात जानते हैं कि जब भी स्वच्छ भारत अभियान की बात आती है तो इंदौर का नाम आता ही आता है, क्योंकि इंदौर ने स्वच्छता के संबंध में अपनी एक विशेष पहचान बनाई है और इंदौर के नागरिक इसके अभिनंदन के अधिकारी भी हैं।
The Prime Minister lauded Indore for its cleanliness drive, saying the city has created a special identity of its own in relation to cleanliness. He said, now the people of Indore have decided to maintain a water plus city and are striving for it with all their might. The greater the number of cities which are water plus in the country, the greater will be the cleanliness and the rivers will also be clean.
Mr. Modi also discussed the Sukhet model of Dr. Rajendra Prasad Agricultural University, Madhubani. The purpose of this model is to reduce pollution in the villages. Under this model, dung and other household waste is collected from the farmers of the village, and in return, the villagers are given money for cooking gas cylinders. The Prime Minister urged every panchayat of the country to think of doing something like this in their villages.
जो कचरा गांव से एकत्रित होता है, उसके निपटारे के लिए वर्मी कंपोस्ट बनाने का भी काम किया जा रहा है। यानी सुखेत मॉडल के 4 लाभ तो सीधे सीधे नजर आते हैं। एक तो गांव को प्रदूषण से मुक्ति, दूसरा गांव को गंदगी से मुक्ति, तीसरा गांव वालों को रसोई गैस सिलेंडर के लिए पैसे और चौथा गांव के किसानों को जैविक खाद। आप सोचिए, इस तरह के प्रयास हमारे गांवों की शक्ति कितनी ज्यादा बढ़ा सकते हैं। यही तो आत्मनिर्भरता का विषय है। मैं देश की प्रत्येक पंचायत से कहूंगा कि ऐसा कुछ करने का वो भी अपने यहाँ जरूर सोचें। और साथियों, जब हम एक लक्ष्य लेकर निकल पड़ते हैं ना, तो नतीजे का मिलना निश्चित होता है।
Mr. Modi also gave the example of the Kanjirangal Panchayat of Sivaganga district in Tamil Nadu, where the Gram Panchayat, along with the local people, has started an indigenous project to generate electricity from the waste in their village. The garbage is collected from the entire village, electricity is generated from it, and the residual products are also sold as pesticides.
तमिलनाडु में शिवगंगा जिले की कांजीरंगाल पंचायत, देखिए इस छोटी सी पंचायत ने क्या किया। यहाँ पर आपको वेस्ट से वेल्थ का एक और मॉडल देखने को मिलेगा। यहाँ ग्राम पंचायत ने स्थानीय लोगों के साथ मिलकर कचरे से बिजली बनाने का एक लोकल प्रोजेक्ट अपने गांव में लगा दिया है। पूरे गांव से कचरा इकट्ठा होता है, उससे बिजली बनती है और बचे हुए प्रोडक्ट्स को कीटनाशक के रूप में बेच भी दिया जाता है। गांव के इस पावर प्लांट की क्षमता प्रतिदिन 2 टन कचरे के निस्तारण की है। इससे बनने वाली बिजली गांव की स्ट्रीट लाइट्स और दूसरी जरूरतों में उपयोग हो रही है। इससे पंचायत का पैसा तो बच ही रहा है, वो पैसा दूसरे विकास के कामों में इस्तेमाल किया जा रहा है। अब मुझे बताइए, तमिलनाडु के शिवगंगा जिले की एक छोटी सी पंचायत हम सभी देशवासियों को कुछ करने की प्रेरणा देती है कि नहीं देती है? कमाल ही किया है ना उन्होंने।
The Prime Minister also highlighted the need to create awareness about Sanskrit, saying it is our collective duty to cherish our heritage, preserve it and pass it on to the new generation. Mr. Modi also shared an audio in which a group of radio jockeys are talking in Sanskrit. They run a community radio initiative, Radio Unity 90 FM, and talk to their listeners in Sanskrit language. The Prime Minister said through its thoughts and medium of literary texts, Sanskrit helps nurture knowledge and also strengthens national unity. Mr. Modi also said he recently got to know about many such people who are engaged in the inspirational work of teaching Sanskrit in foreign countries.
On Vishwakarma Jayanti, to be celebrated in the next few days, the Prime Minister said Bhagwan Vishwakarma is considered as the symbol of creative power behind the genesis of the world. He said, even though skill is being recognized in a new way in the country today, our sages and seers have emphasized on the skill and scale for thousands of years.
पूरी दुनिया सबसे ज्यादा हुनर यानी स्किल पर ही बल दे रही है। भगवान विश्वकर्मा की पूजा भी सिर्फ औपचारिकताओं से पूरी नहीं होगी। हमें हुनर को सम्मान देना होगा। हुनरमंद होने के लिए मेहनत करनी होगी। हुनरमंद होने का गर्व होना चाहिए। जब हम कुछ न कुछ नया करें, कुछ इनोवेट करें, कुछ ऐसा सृजित करें जिससे समाज का हित हो, लोगों का जीवन आसान बने, तब हमारी विश्वकर्मा पूजा सार्थक होगी। आज दुनिया में स्किल्ड लोगों के लिए अवसरों की कमी नहीं है। प्रगति के कितने सारे रास्ते आज स्किल्स से तैयार हो रहे हैं। तो आइए इस बार हम भगवान विश्वकर्मा की पूजा पर आस्था के साथ साथ उनके संदेश को भी अपनाने का संकल्प करें। हमारी पूजा का भाव यही होना चाहिए कि हम स्किल के महत्व को समझेंगे और स्किल लोगों को, चाहे वो कोई भी काम करता हो, उन्हें पूरा सम्मान भी देंगे।
In view of COVID-19, the Prime Minister reminded people about the mantra of Dawai Bhi, Kadai Bhi and urged them to vaccinate and take precautions. He said more than 62 crore vaccine doses have been administered in the country, but still, people have to be careful and vigilant. You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says sports competitions should be held in every part of the country, including remote villages, to further the momentum created by recent Olympics. In his Mann Ki Baat program, the Prime Minister praises the youth of the country for undergoing transformation and wanting to do something new altogether. Mr. Modi remembers Major Dhyan Chand on National Sports Day being celebrated in his honor. Prime Minister highlights the need to create awareness about Sanskrit, saying that it is our collective duty to cherish our heritage, preserve it and pass it on to the new generation. Urging people to get vaccinated for COVID-19, Prime Minister reminds about the mantra of Dawai Bhi, Kadai Bhi. Prime Minister Ramnath Kovind inaugurates Ramayan Conclave in Ayodhya. Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur launches Fit India mobile application, calls upon people to give half an hour every day for fitness. International scheduled commercial passenger flights to and from India to remain suspended till September 30th. Over 63 crore 9 lakh COVID vaccine doses administered in the country so far. Recovery rate stands at 97.53%. And Paralympic silver medal winner Bhavini Patel talks exclusively to AIR, attributes her success to hard work and dedication. For quick news updates and round the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle @AIR News Alerts.
चलो मिलकर एक शुरुआत करें, चलो एक फैसला आज करें, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे, चलो एक इरादा करते हैं, चलो कुछ वादा करते हैं, मास्क नहीं तो टोकेंगे, कोरोना को रोकेंगे।
भारत के स्वतंत्रता संग्राम में अनगिनत स्वतंत्रता सेनानियों ने अपने प्राणों की आहुति दी। कुछ इतिहास में अमर हो गए और कई गुमनाम। आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के अंतर्गत 75 कड़ियों की श्रृंखला में हम उन वीरांगनाओं की बात करेंगे जिनका योगदान कभी भुलाया नहीं जा सकता। प्रत्येक मंगलवार परिक्रमा में सुनिए अपराजिता, देश की वीरांगनाओं को आकाशवाणी का सादर नमन।
Welcome back to the Midday News. President of India Ram Nath Kovind today said that the values of Indian tradition and culture are contained in the Holy Ramayana, and the human values implied in Ramayana will always be relevant for the world. He said that Ram belongs to everyone and he is in everyone. He was speaking at the inauguration of Ramayana conclave in Ayodhya. Speaking at the inauguration function, the president said that Ramayana not just tells about the ways to economic prosperity, but also the ways to lead humanity.
मैं आशा करता हूं कि केंद्र व राज्य सरकारों द्वारा इस क्षेत्र की जनता के प्रयासों के बल पर अयोध्या नगरी भविष्य में मानव सेवा का एक उत्कृष्ट केंद्र बनेगी, सामाजिक समरसता का उदाहरण प्रस्तुत करेगी, नैतिक व आध्यात्मिक संस्कारों के लिए प्रसिद्ध होगी तथा शिक्षा व शोध का प्रमुख वैश्विक केंद्र बनेगी।
The president also said that Ayodhya and Ramayana provide cultural power to our relationship with other countries. Talking about the temple town, the president said that there is no Ayodhya without Ram. That is why this place is called Ayodhya, because Ayodhya means with whom no one can fight. On the occasion, Governor of the state Anandiben Patel said that Ayodhya city is being developed by the state government, which will attract a number of tourists from all over the world. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath said that the historic moment of the commencement of construction of Ram Temple at Ayodhya began on 5th August last year after a struggle of 5 decades, and his government is working for the grand development of the city.
With the arrival of the special presidential train at the beautifully decorated Ayodhya railway station, President Ram Nath Kovind became the first Indian president to visit the temple town. He inaugurated the Ramayana conclave, which started from today and will continue for 65 days till 1st November this year in different parts of the state. The conclave will be organized in Gorakhpur, Balia, Varanasi, Vindhyachal, Chitrakoot, Lalitpur, Shringaverpur, Bithur, Bijnor, Bareilly, Ghaziabad, Mathura, Garhmukteshwar, Saharanpur and Lucknow cities. Ramayana conclave will have special experts and Kathavachaks who will narrate and discuss the various events of the Holy Ramayana. Sushil Chandra Tiwari, AIR News, Ayodhya.
The government has extended suspension of international scheduled commercial passenger flights to and from India till September 30th. Aviation Regulator, Directorate General of Civil Aviation DGCA today said the suspension of scheduled international passenger flights has been extended till 30th of next month. However, international scheduled flights may be allowed on selected routes by the competent authority on a case-to-case basis. Scheduled international passenger service have been suspended in India since March 23rd last year due to the coronavirus pandemic, but special international flights have been operating under the Vande Bharat mission.
More than 63 crore 9 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered in the country so far under the nationwide vaccine drive. Health Ministry said more than 73 lakh 80,000 vaccine doses were administered during the last 24 hours. It said the COVID recovery rate in the country stands at 97.53%. More than 35,000 patients recovered during the last 24 hours. India reported over 45,000 new cases in the last 24 hours. In the same period, 460 deaths were reported and the country's active caseload is now at 3,68,558. Information and Broadcasting Ministry is celebrating Iconic Week from 23rd till today as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav. Today, All India Radio will broadcast Azadi Ka Safar Akashvani ke saath in both Hindi and English. Imprint book review in Hindi dedicated to freedom fighters or art or culture will be broadcast in Parikrama at 4:45 p.m. It also organizes Regional Amrit Mahotsav quiz. Doordarshan will telecast Azadi Ka Safar and Saga of Freedom Struggle program tomorrow morning. It will also telecast a special program on Ek Bharat Shresht Bharat. Doordarshan will telecast patriotic feature film this evening on its national channel.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव। Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
Today is the death anniversary of renowned freedom fighter and revolutionary poet Qazi Nazrul Islam. The versatile genius fought the British through his creative writings. Nazrul's opposition to the British rule started when he served in the British Army during World War I in the old Bengali 49th Regiment based in Karachi. It was in Karachi where he came under the influence of the Bolshevik Revolution. After the war, Nazrul returned to his native Bengal, determined to write and rally against foreign rule. Within a few years, he was influenced by the non-cooperation movement and became aware of the plight of millions of Indians.
The poverty and misery of the Indians would become an important part of his artistic consciousness and poetic art. Agnibina, a collection of Nazrul's famous poems from this period, are full of his newly awakened political consciousness. One poem from Agnibina is Bidrohi.
বল মহাবিশ্বের মহাকাশ ফাড়ি চন্দ্র সূর্য গ্রহ তারা ছাড়ি ভুলোক দুলোক গোলোক ভেদিয়া খোদার আসন আরশ ছেদিয়া উঠিয়াছি চির বিস্ময় আমি বিশ্ববিধাত্রী.
Similarly, the Khilafat agitation made him realize the necessity and imperatives of a Hindu-Muslim brotherhood that would rise against the British. In November of 1922, Qazi Nazrul Islam was arrested in Calcutta, accused of sedition by the British government. In response to his sedition charge, Nazrul shocked the British by representing himself in court. Nazrul Islam worked for All India Radio, Kolkata. He acted in several films and wrote numerous songs. Nazrul Giti is a genre of his Bengali songs.
Qazi Nazrul Islam breathed his last on August 29, 1976 in Dhaka. In accordance with his wish, which he had expressed in one of his poems, he was buried beside the central mosque of the Dhaka University.
The death anniversary of a great freedom fighter, Haipo Jadonang from Manipur, also falls on this day. He fought valiantly against the British rule. The spiritual leader and political activist's quest for freedom brought him in direct conflict with the British. Jadonang was a staunch critic of the British rule and the changes happening in the region marked by injustices, labor, exploitation and taxation. His movement for the establishment of a Naga state was spearheaded in the North Kachar Hills, Manipur and the Naga Hills. He mobilized people and many Naga tribes against the British. He urged his followers to stop paying taxes to the British administration. Jadonang was inspired by Mahatma Gandhi and composed a song in his honor. Jadonang was hanged on the banks of Nambul River in Imphal on August 29, 1931. His legacy was carried forward by his cousin and well-known freedom fighter, Rani Gaidenliu, who spent 14 years in jail for India's independence. The great son of the soil may not be with us today, but Haipo Jadonang's legacy of waging a fight against the British to do away with injustices and oppression continues to live on.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in next episode tomorrow.
That was our special program Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News.
Table tennis star Bhavina Patel, who scripted history by winning silver medal in Tokyo Paralympics, has attributed her success to hard work and dedication. Talking exclusively to AIR News from Tokyo, she thanked the Sports Authority of India, the Paralympic Committee of India and others for their continuous support.
मैं बस यही कहना चाहूंगी कि सारे देशवासियों ने मेरे लिए बहुत सारी प्रे की है और उनके प्रे और आशीर्वाद की वजह से मैं यहाँ तक पहुँच पाई हूँ, तो उन सबको मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहती हूँ। मैं बस यही चाहती हूँ कि आप गेम इम्प्रूव करने के लिए अपना हार्डवर्क पूरी शिद्दत से कीजिए। अगर आप कोई गोल बना रहे हो तो उसके लिए आपको अपना पूरा डेडिकेशन देना पड़ेगा और तभी जाके आप एक अच्छे लेवल पर जा सकते हो और अपना जो ड्रीम है वो पूरा कर सकते हो।
34-year-old Bhavina also shared the story of her journey so far and the rigorous training regimen she underwent. She said people can always realize their dreams by sheer hard work. To celebrate the second anniversary of Fit India movement and as part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, Youth Affairs and Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur today launched the Fit India mobile application. The Fit India app is available on both Android and iOS platforms and has been developed in such a way that it works even on basic smartphones. Launching it in New Delhi, Mr. Thakur said this mobile application will help monitor fitness, and through it, an attempt has been made to show that fitness is easy. He urged people to download the application. The minister called upon people to give half an hour every day for fitness.
युवा भारत को फिट रखने के लिए और ये फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट जो आज से लगभग 2 वर्ष पहले शुरू की गई, उसके पीछे सोच माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी की थी। जो भारत की सबसे बड़ी ताकत है वो हमारा युवा है। युवा को अगर राष्ट्र निर्माण में लगाना है तो फिट युवा ही एक सशक्त भारत का निर्माण कर सकता है। जहां एक और पोषण अभियान उसके लिए शुरू किया है, वहीं पर युवा कार्यक्रम और खेल विभाग के द्वारा ये फिट इंडिया मूवमेंट के अंतर्गत ही फिट इंडिया मोबाइल ऐप लॉन्च आज की जा रही है। आप चलते फिरते भी कभी ये ध्यान नहीं देते होंगे कि आपने कितनी फिटनेस अपनी की, क्योंकि आप उसको मॉनिटर नहीं करते। इसके माध्यम से आप मॉनिटर कर पाओगे कि आप प्रतिदिन कितने स्टेप्स चले हो, कितनी एक्सरसाइज की है। यहाँ तक कि पहले तो कहा जाता था कि ऑन योर मार्क्स गेट सेट गो, अब तो ये है ऑन योर मार्क्स फिटनेस टेस्ट गो, क्योंकि आप अपना फिटनेस टेस्ट भी इस पर कर सकते हो।
In cricket, England have won the third test at Headingley, defeating India by an innings in 76 runs. Yesterday, India resumed their second innings at the overnight score of 215 for 2, and they were all out for 278 just before lunch. India lost 8 wickets, adding just 63 runs. England made 432 runs in their first innings, while India had scored just 78 runs.
And now let us take a look at the weather forecast for today. The national capital Delhi will see generally cloudy sky with light rain or drizzle. Minimum temperature was 26 degrees Celsius, while the maximum is likely to be nearly 34 degrees. Mumbai will also have generally cloudy sky with moderate rain. Temperature will hover between 25 and 31 degrees Celsius. Chennai is expected to have thunderstorm with rain. The temperature will move to a maximum 33 degrees Celsius from a minimum of 24 degrees. Kolkata will have generally cloudy sky with 1 or 2 spells of rain or thunder shower. The city noted a minimum temperature of 26 degrees and a maximum will be around 33 degrees. And now before we close, a look at the headlines again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi says sports competitions should be held in every part of the country, including remote villages, to further the momentum created by recent Olympics. In his Mann Ki Baat program, the Prime Minister praises the youth of the country for undergoing transformation and wanting to do something new altogether. Mr. Modi remembers Major Dhyan Chand on National Sports Day being celebrated in his honour. Urging people to get vaccinated for COVID-19, Prime Minister Modi reminds them about the mantra of Dawai Bhi, Kadai Bhi. President Ram Nath Kovind inaugurates Ramayana Conclave in Ayodhya. Sports Minister Anurag Singh Thakur launches Fit India mobile application, calls upon people to give half an hour every day for fitness. International scheduled commercial passenger flights to and from India to remain suspended till September 30th. And Paralympics silver medal winner Bhavina Patel talks exclusively to AIR, attributes her success to hard work and dedication. And with that, we end the Midday News.